So let me share my particular screen. So in the last class, okay, we completed just introduction part, okay, introduction to the programming, like how computer work, what is the input, what is the output, what is program, what is programming, what is programming language, what are the different types of programming languages we have, what is the work of language processor, and what actually requirement of the programmers, and where we are implementing this particular programming, and what is the use of this particular Python, and where we are using this particular Python programming language. In this particular class, we are going to install the Python particular software. We are going to install the Python editors. And before that, we are going to discuss one particular small topic. Okay. One is what are the basic data types are available in the Python programming language, and what is the concept behind of tokens. So let's start with the basic particular data types. I hope you can able to see my screen, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So in between, if you have any doubt or questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions. So if you come to this particular basic data type questions, we have a concept called data versus information. If you talk about the data or information, okay, if I write one particular line, Sachin scored 200. So in this particular sentence, there are two individual particular data is there. You can see Sachin and 200. And this is written in the two different particular format. This is written in the alphabets, and here it is written in the numbers. So here, if you come to the base point of this particular definition of the data, it is nothing but it's a unit of information. Okay, unit means it's a singular thing. Means Sachin is the individual data here. 200 is the individual particular data. Every programming language having some particular basic data types to store that particular data. Python has also categorized that particular data types into three different particular parts. One is the basic data type, then we have advanced data types, and then we have library related data types. Means these particular data types directly not available. You have to use this particular data types using the libraries. Coming to the basic data types, we have four important data types are there. One is called integer, next we have float, next we have string, and next we have boolean. What is integer? Similar to the all particular programming language, if I'm storing any particular number without any particular decimal value, it will be considered as an integer value. Okay, and when I'm checking any particular type of data, it will be represent in the output, it will be display as a int. It will display as a int. Okay, in other programming language also, if you use the keyword called int, like C language, we use int keyword if you declare any particular variables. Okay, example purpose, if I'm storing 10, some any particular number without any particular decimal value, it will become under the integer. If I'm storing any particular number with a decimal value, then it will be considered as a float. Okay, and if you check any particular type, then it will be displayed as the same float float format. Example purpose, if I'm storing something 10 point something 89 something 789.55, okay, any particular number with some particular decimal values. Now there is a difference here in the Python string. If you are coming from any C, C++ or Java background, where if I'm storing any particular single particular letter or any particular special character or multiple particular characters, differences create will be there. There is a individual particular data type for single letter, and there is a individual data type for more than one particular letter. Okay, for single particular letters in other programming language we call character, and for multiple letters will be considered as a string. But in Python programming language, okay, if I'm storing any particular single letter, or if I'm storing any multiple letter, okay, or else if I'm storing any single line with multiple letters, or if I'm storing multiple lines also with multiple letters, or else if I'm storing any particular special character also. Everything will be considered as a string value only. Okay. And here, if I'm storing any particular string value, it will be considered in the quotes particular format. Okay. So you can use single quotes or double quotes to store the string value. Okay. Example, hi. So hi, like same thing. You can use double quotes or single quotes, any special characters. Okay. Or else any word is there, something welcome to right now. So you can use single characters as well as double characters. Most of the interview they'll ask the question, what will happen if I'm not mentioning the quotes? Okay. Any answers, guys? Any idea if you are coming from any other programming language? Okay, when you're storing any particular data as a string value, but if you are not mentioning the codes here, so then what your program is going to be understand?
Compilation errors.
Compilation error. Any more answers, guys?
It will take into as character.
Okay. Any more answers, guys? Okay. So let me repeat my particular question once again. What I wanted to do, for example, here I have created one particular variable, assume. Okay. Uh, Let me open one particular online compiler. So still we have not started any particular coding. To just understanding purpose, I'm writing all these things. For example, I have created one particular variable a equals to 10. There is a command called print a to execute any particular data here. Okay, normally if you just write here print hi, okay, it will execute print hi. Okay, or else if I'm mentioning print 10, okay, it will display print 10. Okay, so my question here is what will happen if I'm not mentioning, okay, normally if I mention hi inside of the codes, then here we are getting the hi message here. Now the question arises here, what if I'm not mentioning this hi like this? Or else you store one particular data, okay, for example, a equals to hi. As of now, I have mentioned a equals to hi, and here I have mentioned the print a. So same you will get the output. You can see here there is a no error. You'll get the same particular message hi only. So my question here, what will happen if I remove this particular quotes here? So here the answer is now your particular program will understand this is one type of particular identifier. Like how a as a one particular identifier, one identity is there. Like a is a one variable. In this variable, some value is stored. Now what your program will think, okay, hi is not written in the course. It means it is a one identity, one particular identifier. It means in the hi something is stored is there. Now it is going to find in your particular program to check any data is stored or not. If it is not stored, then it will give you one particular error here. Okay, so it is going to give you one error, name error, like you have mentioned one particular identity as a name, hi, but it is not defined. It is not mentioned anywhere. So in the most of the interview also, this question is going to be asked. Clear?
Yes,
Any doubt, any questions, guys?
it's clear.
Now, next thing here is Boolean. So if I'm storing any particular data as a true or false format, okay. So then I'm going to use this particular data type as a Boolean format. So where we are going to use this particular data types, different purposes are there. For example, you're going to check some particular terms and conditions, or else if you wanted to display any particular data, okay, in the backend part, okay, you have created some particular checkboxes. Like if it is checkbox is marked, you wanted to display one particular message like admissions are open. Again, if you just unmark that particular checkbox in your particular backend or something, like there'll be one particular login portal will be there where one operator is there, and then that particular operator uncheck that particular box. Now in that particular website, one message is displaying admissions are closed. So whenever you wanted to display any particular data, yes or no particular format, okay, so then you can go with this particular true and false, where you have only two particular result, true and false. So then you have to go with the Boolean particular data types. Now, advanced data types we are going to discuss more about in the upcoming classes. So we have four advanced data types are there, that is list, tuple, set and dictionary. What is the use of this particular advanced data type? To work with the more than one particular data. Whenever you have large particular data sets are there and you wanted to handle those particular large data sets, then you go with the advanced particular data types. Okay, we are going to learn in details in the upcoming particular classes. Then we have library data type. So here basic data types and advanced data type directly come when you install your particular Python software, and then you can use these particular data types. But there are some particular data types are there that is built in, not available in the Python. If I wanted to use those particular data types, then I need to use some particular libraries. Example purpose, we have arrays are there, we have series are there, we have data frames are there. So these particular data types directly not available. If I wanted to use this particular data types, then I need to use some particular libraries. For array, we can use the array libraries or NumPy library. For series and data frames, we need to use the pandas particular libraries. Okay, so all these things we are going to learn in the upcoming particular classes. Okay, now, let's go to the next particular concept, and next concept is tokens. Any idea, guys, what is token? Okay, so let's discuss with the one particular example. Just assume, okay, as of now in the cricket game, we have just cricket format, we have 1 day 50 hour format, and we have T20 particular format. Now let's assume, okay, T10 particular formats is going to be announced globally. So then who is going to be responsible to maintain all the particular rules, guidelines? Who is going to be responsible? ICC, right? International Cricket Council will be responsible to maintain all the particular rules and regulation and guidelines, right? So what, how many overs will be there, and how many bowlers can bowl, what will be the all the particular rules and regulations, right? So similarly, whenever any programming language is going to be developed, on that time, how we can use this particular programming language, what will be the rules and regulations and guidelines are there to use this particular programming language, what are the concepts should we add in this particular programming language, like data types concept is there. Okay, similarly, conditional statement, control flow statement concept is there, functions concepts are there, built-in functions concepts are there. Okay, there are different particular concepts are there in each and every particular programming language, like object-oriented programming concept is there, file handling concepts are there. So then what are the concepts we need to add inside of this particular programming language, and how the developers can able to use this particular programming language? For example, someone is writing any particular condition, someone is writing the loop, someone is writing the functions. Okay, how your program is going to be understand, like someone is written the condition, someone is written that particular loop. Okay, if someone is writing any particular code inside of any particular block, how your program is going to be understand. To maintain all these particular things, okay, in simple meanings, whenever you create any programming language, we define certain rules and guidelines. So this is called as a tokens. Is it clear, guys? I'm audible? Yes, no?
Yeah, yes, sir. You are
Yes.
audible.
Okay. So in simple meaning, it's a rules, it's a rules and guidelines of the programming language. Okay, which is used to execute that particular code and what how to use any particular concept of the programming language, etc., etc. Now, to use this particular tokens, it is categorized into five particular types. What are the five types are there? So first we have identifier, next we have keywords, next we have operators, next we have literals, next we have punctuators. Now let's discuss one by one. First talk about the identifier. So in the name itself you can understand it is giving some particular identification. So when we are writing any particular program, as you can see here we have written here a equals to high, okay, and here we are getting the name error. So name is used for what purpose? It is used for identification purpose. Means in my particular program, if I write a equals to 10, okay, if I'm writing b equals to 20, if I'm writing c equals to a plus b, so what is this A, B, C is going to be referred? Okay, so here my program will understand, okay, in A some data is stored, in B some particular data is stored, in C some particular formula is written here. Okay, so this A, B, C is going to be referred as a one particular identity. Okay, it is used as a one identifier. Apart from this, okay, when you create any particular functions, okay, what is variable, what is functions, okay, what is class object, and everything we are going to like cover in particular details. As of now, before starting, for understanding purpose, okay, we are writing all these things. So here we have this particular four particular types are there: variables, okay, functions, class, and objects. So whenever you create any fourth of this, you have to give one particular name here, and in this particular name you're going to store something. Example purpose, variable is going to be used to store the data. Again, function is used to store some particular lines of code here. So if I'm storing something, lines of code or any particular data, so where it is going to be stored and how it is going to be identified. So for that purpose, what actually we are doing, we are assigning that particular name. In simple meaning, it is a customize, this is a customized name, or you can say user assigned name. And what is the purpose of this particular identifier? In your particular program, whenever you create any particular, when you store any particular data, or else if you are storing any particular code, and then again if I create any particular formulas also, and then I wanted to reuse that particular things. So for that purpose, what I need to do, I need to assign some particular name here. And once I mention that particular name, in that particular name, that particular data is going to be stored. Okay, at that particular code is going to be stored. That particular formula is going to be stored here. Okay, but here directly I can give any particular name, or is there any particular naming rules are there? Yes, we have some particular naming rules are there. We have to follow some particular naming rules. If I'm not following this particular naming rules, what will happen? It will create one particular confusions to my particular program and for the other particular developers also. Why? Because see, whenever we are writing any particular code, we are not writing for our purpose. This particular code is going to be written for the entire particular company. So in the entire particular company, I am not one particular developer I'm not a one particular individual engineer. There are multiple engineers are working. Okay, if I switch any particular company or left that particular company, if I'm not available, and other peoples are going to read my particular code, they are going to handle my particular work. On that time, some confusions are going to be created. Okay, to avoid those particular confusions to that particular program and other particular programmers, we have some universal naming rules are there. Universal naming rules means these are the same naming rules for the C language, C++, Java, okay, and all the programming language same for the Pythons also. Okay, so basic remains same for all the programming language. Only the what will be the difference will be there, the syntax, the behavior of the writing. Okay, that is only going to be changed, but basics remain same for all the particular programming language. That's why most of the developers say, like, whenever you're learning one programming language, learn that particular programming language perfectly, because the basics is not going to be changed, only the syntax are going to be changed. Okay, any questions, any doubt, guys?
No.
Okay,
Mm.
so here what are the different naming rules are there if I'm creating any particular uh, identifier, okay, in the form of variable, functions, classes, object, or else if I'm assigning any particular customized name here. So the first thing which I need to take care, I can give any particular name, but make sure this particular name must be in one word. Example purpose, I'm giving one particular variable name, something like user space name, then it is not going to be acceptable. Okay, so here you have to give like this, user name, then it is going to be accepted. Or else you can give like this also, user underscore name, then it is also accepted. Okay, now second rule is you can give any particular name, but make sure this name start with alphabets or underscore. Okay, the next thing is you can give any particular name, but make sure name should not start with numbers and special characters. Special character except of underscore. Next particular condition, you can use any particular name, whatever the name you wanted to use, but make sure this name should not be a keyword. Again, there is a one more rule is there, that name should not be a built-in functions. Okay, what is built-in functions? All these things we are going to discuss. Now, here, first three things we can easily understand means this name must be in one word. Okay, you can start the name with alphabet. You should not start with the number. For example, if I'm writing one username, so then it is not going to be acceptable. If I'm writing username one, then it is going to be acceptable. Okay, if I'm writing hashtag username, it is not going to be acceptable. But if I'm writing underscore username, it is going to be acceptable. But usually we don't start with the underscore also, it is acceptable, but normally we use, if any multiple words are there, we use underscore in the middle, and we can assign that particular name. Okay, now here what is the meaning of this particular keyword here? The fourth thing, name should not be a keyword. So here whenever any programming language is developed, what we do, we fixed some particular words here. So keyword is nothing but some fixed words. or you can say already assigned names, or you can say reserved words. So we can say already assigned names. And here, what is the identifier? We are assigning the names. Keywords is already assigned names. Who assigned these particular names? Whenever any programming language is developed, the designer of the programming language, developer of the programming language, or you can say founder of the programming language is going to be set some particular words here. Nothing but set some particular names. Why they are fixed to some particular names? Why they have reserved some particular words? The question arises here. So the simple answer is whenever you use any particular concept of the programming language, for example, you are writing one conditions, you are writing one particular loop, you are writing one particular functionalities, or else you are accessing one file with the another file. Okay, there is a project, there are 10 files are there, and you wanted to access in file number 10, you wanted to access file number 3, or else in file number 4 you wanted to access file number 1. So different particular concepts are there. So now you wanted to use multiple concepts in one particular file, right? So when you're using multiple concepts in your particular one file, okay, just assume you're using 10 concepts of the Python programming language. So here, how your program is going to be understand, okay, you have written conditions. How your program should understand, you have used loops. How your program should understand, you have used functions concept. How your program should understand, okay, here you are handling some particular errors. Okay, how your program should understand, you are accessing some particular files. In simple particular example, you can see cricket game is there. In the cricket, how you're going to understand, it's a white ball, it's a no ball. Okay, so it's a 4 or 6. So umpire give one particular signal. Okay, by seeing that particular signal, we can understand, okay, it's a no ball or white, right? We can understand it's a 4 or 6. Similarly, here also, in when you write any particular code, before writing that particular code, we are giving some particular signal to our particular program. Whenever this particular program is going to be compile, or you can say interpret, it is going to scan all the particular lines, and then it is going to be translate, and then it will go to the machine language format, and then it will go to the execution. So here, how in that particular compilation time or interpreted time, how it is going to be understand. So for that purpose, what we'll do, we'll give some particular signal, we'll give some particular reference. Using this particular reference, our program will understand, okay, this is condition, okay, this is loop, okay, this is the function, this is some classes are written. Okay, here this particular programmer is accessing another particular file. So that particular reference is called as a keyword. Okay, example purpose. Total we have 30, 33 particular keywords are there. Okay, here I'm going to write if I'm writing for, or else if I'm writing import, if I'm using as, if I'm using raise, okay, if I'm using def. So then my program is going to understand, okay, what actually I'm going to write. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, any doubt?
No.
So including true and false, we have 35 keywords are there. If you remove the true and false, if you're not considering, then 33 particular keywords are there. So here, these are the use of this particular keyword. Now, fifth point, name should not be a built-in functions. Okay. In Python programming language, to execute some particular result, okay, we have already some particular ready-made particular functionality is given. Okay, if you are coming with the C language, okay, we have main function is there, we have printf function is there. Okay, so similarly you can see here when I'm writing this particular code, here I am mentioning print a. So this print, okay, when I'm using this print, so this print is a one particular built-in functions. So normally, what is the use of this particular function? Function is used to execute some particular code. If I wanted to execute some particular code in my particular program, then compulsory I need to use one particular function. So here, what actually print function? If I run this particular print function, nothing is printing here because here nothing is written. If I return 10, now 10 is going to be executed. Okay, if I return here something C, now inside of the C, what is written, that is going to be executed. So here print is a one particular function. This is used for one particular purpose. Now if I write inside of this particular print, I'm using one more function, type function. Now it will execute another particular code. It is saying like this particular type C is a one particular class of integer here. Means the data which you are storing, it's say in the format of integer. So this is the type function is there. So like this, there are multiple particular built-in functions, hundreds of particular built-in functions are available. So you should not use those particular built-in functions. If I'm using this particular built-in function, what will happen? Now it will create one particular confusion and it will overwrite your particular code with that particular code. Okay, and it will be create one particular confusion here for the other particular programs and for that particular compilers also sometimes. So that's why we have to avoid the keywords also, and we have to avoid the built-in particular function names. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah, yeah, it's clear.
Yeah.
Okay. And one more thing here, we have one particular note. So in Python, if I'm giving any particular name, it's a case sensitive or not? Yes. Okay, it is case sensitive. It means, for example, if I'm writing username and then I'm writing capital username, so now it will create the difference here because same it will follow the ASCII rules. So every particular character having one ASCII value. So if I'm using this particular small u having the individual ASCII value and capital U having the individual ASCII value. For example, here if I'm mentioning small username equals to, let's assume here I'm writing David, and here I'm writing one more variable name username equals to Alex. And now if I print username, so now if I run this, it is printing David, and if I mention capital username, now it will printing the Alex. And just assume I have mentioned everything in the capital username. Now I'm trying to print this. Now it will give me that error. This username variable is not available. It is not defined here. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
clear.
Next thing, literal. What is the meaning of this particular literal? So in simple meaning, it's a data which you are storing, which you store inside of the variable. Okay. So what is the use of this variable? Variable is used. It is used to store the data. So normally, what type of data we store? Either we are going to store the integer data, either we are going to use the float data. Okay, in advanced data type also we are going to use the same thing. Okay, and here either we are going to use the string data, either we are going to use the boolean data. This is the data which we are going to store. For example, you create one variable a equals to 10, either you are storing a equals to something 10 point some 89, either you are storing a equals to high, or else you are storing a equals to 2. This is the data which you wanted to store. But just assume I wanted to create the variable, but I don't wanted to store any particular data. Can I do that? Yes. Okay, so there is a one particular special literal is there in my particular Python, and the special literal name called none. So whenever I wanted to create any particular variable, but I don't want it to store as of now, and later I wanted to assign that particular data here. For example, you created one particular variable as a one particular uh, name as a something error message. Okay, you created one variable with the name of error message and you declare none. It means as of now we have not store any particular data. We have created the variable, but we have not initialized any particular value here. Later, according to my particular requirement, I wanted to change this particular data inside of this particular variable. For example, if I'm writing one condition, okay, what is the condition? All these things we are going to discuss, okay, in the upcoming classes, okay. But let's assume, okay, I'm writing one particular condition. There is a if one keyword is there, and here I'm writing, for example, if first name, okay, I'm writing one condition. If first name, okay, uh, something like is empty here. Okay, for example, just assume I'm writing one condition I'm writing is empty. Then I wanted to write one particular value inside of this error message. Okay, one message I wanted to send, field should not be empty. Okay, this value I wanted to initialize inside of this particular error message. Just assume there is a one more condition is there. Okay, there is a one more condition is there. Okay, here I'm writing else if. Okay, what is if, what is else if, everything we are going to discuss in details, so don't worry guys, just understand the concept here. Again, I'm writing one more condition. I'm writing if this particular first name length. Okay, I'm not writing that completely, just for understanding purpose I'm writing normally. Length is less than, for example, 3. Again, I wanted to change this particular message. Okay, uh, minimum minimum 3 letter is required, something like this. Now every requirement, once the requirements come, I wanted to change the value here. So first I have initialized with the value with nothing. I have created the variable, but with the no particular data I have stored here. But later I wanted to initialize the different particular values here. So can I create it with the value with no particular data? So answer is yes. We have a special literal with the name called none here. Is it clear guys? Yes, no?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's clear.
Okay, because your Python can able to hold any type of particular data anytime. Okay, because you can initialize any particular data here. For example, you can see here, if I am writing any particular same particular, let's copy paste this particular same variable is there, and we have different data is there. Okay, first I have some particular integer data, then I have some particular data, and now again keep on changing this particular data. And when I print this particular data, now what is the last value is there, that particular value is going to be executed. You can say true is there. Again I have reinitialized the data. For example, again I'm writing something 78 point something 34. So now that particular value is going to be executed here. Okay, because what it will do, if you keep on changing that particular data, it will override that particular data. Means previous data is going to be deleted, new data is going to be added here. Got it?
I have one doubt. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Like here, I'm not seeing like any class name, main method, and in front.
Nothing will be there. Nothing will be
There.
there in Python programming language. For example, if I'm coming from the C language background, okay, what I need to do, I need to mention all this particular thing. Example purpose, okay. In the last class also we have discussed. For example, if I'm writing the C language code, so there is a one particular format will be there. I need to follow that particular format. That is nothing but my syntax will be there. Okay, I need to mention the preprocessor directory command that include. I need to add one header file like standard input output header file. Then I need to mention one particular main function. And inside of this particular main function, I need to write my particular code. For example, I'm storing one particular data, a equals to 10. Again, I'm storing one particular data, b equals something 2. Again, I'm creating one more variable to store one particular result, a plus b. Now I wanted to generate this printf as a c value. So then I need to mention format specifier. Okay, let's use integer value only. And here I'm going to print this particular c value. So then only I'll get this particular output here. But these things are not required. Same thing for the Java also. You need to create it, the class. You need to mention the public static method here. Okay, but all these things is not required in the Python particular programming language. Here directly you're writing the things. Even if you create any particular Python file also, directly you're writing the code, directly you're writing the condition. No other specific particular commands are required. Got it, guys?
Yes, like suppose if you want to write multiple files in that same.
Multiple files, then you have to create multiple .py files. File1.py, file2.py, file3.py,
Okay.
file4.py. Okay, as of now, just we are discussing the theoretical point before starting the coding. That's why I'm using the online web page. But
Mm.
later I'm going to use multiple files.
Got it.
Okay,
Oh,
because still I have not installed the Python software. Okay, now I'm going to install the Python software and I'm going to use the editor also. Okay,
oh,
because just we are discussing these points, that's why I'm using this online editor. Clear everyone, guys? Yes, no? Any other questions, guys? Any doubts, any confusions? Now, let's move to the next particular tokens, that is called operators. Now, what is this particular operators? In every programming language we have this particular concept called operator. In simple meaning, it's a one particular symbol in all the programming language. But here it is a combination of, you can say it is a combination of some keywords and symbols. Now, what is the use of these particular operators? So, without this particular operator, you cannot design any particular code. You cannot design any particular formulas. You cannot write any particular conditions. You cannot add any particular restrictions. So that is the importance of the operator. So if I wanted to initialize any particular data here, or else if I wanted to create any particular formulas, if I wanted to write some particular conditions, if I wanted to write some particular loops with some particular restrictions, then compulsory I need to use some particular symbols or keywords. So that is called operators. Example purpose, I'm writing a plus b, or else something I'm writing a greater than b, and here I'm going to write something like one loop, for example, for I in uh, something one particular data set. Okay, so like this. So this what is in here? So in is a one particular operator. Okay, what is this particular greater than symbol? It's a one particular operator. What is this particular plus symbol? It is a one particular operator. So these particular operators are categorized into seven particular different types here. Okay, everything we are going to discuss in details. We have arithmetic operator, assignment operator, we have comparison operator, logical operator, membership operator, identity operator, and bitwise operator. So each and every particular operator having some particular symbols and some particular keywords. So using that particular keywords and particular symbols, we are going to design our particular code depend upon that particular requirement here. Got it, guys? Yes, no? So here each and every particular this operator is used for the individual particular purpose. If I'm mentioning plus, plus is used for the individual purpose. If I'm mentioning greater than symbol, it is used for the individual purpose. If I'm using this particular in, it is used for the individual purpose. If I'm mentioning equal symbol, it is used for the individual purposes. Got it?
yes.
Yeah, got it.
Yes.
Next, we have punctuators. What is the definition of this particular punctuators? Whenever you're designing any particular syntaxes, when you're writing any particular concept of the programming language, so what we do, we use some particular special characters, okay, that are called helpers of the programming language. Okay, these are the helpers to design or write the syntaxes in the form of special character or symbols. Example purpose. I wanted to write one particular condition. So I'm writing one condition. If A is greater than B, I'm writing one simple particular condition. Then what I wanted to do, I wanted to print A is greater. Okay. So here I have used this open bracket and close bracket. I have used this column symbol. And inside of the print function, to write this particular string value, I have used this quotes symbol, right? These are the some particular special symbol I have used. These are nothing but these are my particular punctuators. Again, just assume I wanted to store one particular data set. Okay, I wanted to store one particular data set. Okay, I'm using here one square bracket, and here I'm using one particular data. For example, here I'm writing at some particular names I'm storing, something Dravid, okay, Rohit, okay, Jay, okay, and here I'm writing Alex, okay, multiple names I have stored. So when I'm using this, what I have used, I'm using this equal symbol, I'm using this square bracket, again I'm using this comma symbol, right? I'm using the quote symbol. So here these are nothing but your punctuators. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's install the particular Python software. So first of all, I'm going to uninstall the Python. The configuration requirement is 4 GB. Okay, if you are using i3 also, okay, it will support. But Windows 10 is required, Windows 10 or 11. Okay, for Windows 7, it is not going to be support. For Windows 7, you have to use the older version, and right now, older version is not available. So you have to use Windows 10 or 11 only to use this particular Python software to install that particular Python. And 4 GB RAM is required. i3, i5, i7, any particular processor is going to be used. Okay, no issue with the processor, only issue with the your Windows particular. Okay, 7 is not going to be efficient. You have to use the 10 or 11 only. So official website is there. So use the python.org. This is the official website. Okay, so whenever you are installing any particular software, go with the official website only to avoid that any particular different particular unwanted software in your particular machine. So this is the official website. You can click on this particular download button. So you can see by default it will display the Windows. Okay, I'm also using the Windows only. But if you're using Linux machine or any particular Mac, you can click on that particular, and then you can use which particular version you wanted to install. Okay, so here I'm directly can click on this particular 3.13 version, or you can use any particular 3.10, 11, 12, 13, any particular thing. The latest version is 3. Okay, these are the sub versions are there. So as of now, we are using the Python 3 version. And once I click on this, so it is downloading. You can download anywhere. Let's download from the desktop. And once it is downloaded, you can see it is downloaded here, done. If I click on this particular, now it is asking the installation. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to add the path. You have to click on this particular checkbox. Okay. I'm giving you one particular screenshots, one PPT also there. You can go through that particular PPT also. Okay. So make sure if you wanted to note, you can note. You have to mark this particular box number 2, that is called add Python extension to the path. Like if you are aware about the C language, when we installing the C language also, okay, when we are installing the other particular compiler, so when we're installing those things, we need to add the path manually. So that's why here, when we are installing the Python software, at the time only you have to add the path. Okay. And then you have to go with the custom installation and make sure all the particular boxes are checked. Then click on the next button. Again, check this particular boxes, install this particular Python for all the users if you're using a different user in your machine. Okay, and check all these particular boxes. Okay, and then click on this particular install button. Now, once you click on the install button, it will ask yes or no option. Okay, while seeing this particular class, you cannot able to see this yes no option. Okay, now because it's a permission thing, so it won't be visible in the online particular any particular Zoom or these things. But when you click on the install button, you'll get the permission message yes or no. You have to click on the yes button. When you click on this particular yes button, then your particular installation process is going to be start. It will take only few minutes, depend upon our system configuration and internet speed. Better to use the Wi-Fi to avoid any particular signal issues to get the better speed. Because if while installing, if we lose any particular file or any particular packages, then when we write that particular code, we'll get some particular errors.
Uh, so on Linux server, is the installation is same or like we need to follow any other steps?
Uh, Still, I have not used the Linux, so you can go through any particular YouTube tutorial also. Maybe some particular commands base will be there. You have to check. I have not checked still Linux. Mac remains same. Okay. Windows and Mac remains same. Linux still I have not used. Okay.
Oh,
You can go through any particular tutorial. If you're not getting anything, we can check. Okay.
sure.
So now you're getting one particular message like setup was successful. Okay. And here we can close this particular button. Now we have to check internally whether this Python is installed or not. So what you can do, you can open this particular command prompt. And once you open this particular command prompt, here you can type one particular command Python space hyphen hyphen version. Once you enter this particular command, you are getting this 3.13.3. You can see the same version which we have installed, 3.13.3. Okay. Another thing, same thing, we can go to the control panel also, and there also you can check whether this particular Python is installed or not, because we have uninstalled the Python. So again, if I go to the programs and future, you can see Python 3.13.3. Now, how to write this particular code? Normally, if you just directly, it will come with one particular Python editor, Python ideally. Here also you can write that particular code. For example purpose, I'm writing print. Okay, let me just increase the size. Okay, and here I'm writing print high. So here getting the high message. If I'm writing a equals to 10, b equals to 20, c equals to a plus b. Okay, print c. So here we are getting. In this way also, if you wanted to practice, you can practice. This is the one method. Okay, okay, method one. Second method, you can use any particular online editor. If you just type here online Python editor, okay, and you choose any particular website. For example, just now use programming, okay, and here I'm writing the same particular code here, okay, and here run it. So here we'll get the output. It's taking some time because to use the internet. Okay, we are getting the hello world. This is the second method. Third method, okay, here individually we are writing the code, and when we close this things like browser and this particular ideally, it will, okay, vanish everything. It is going to clear everything. Now what I wanted to store something. So again, okay, what you can do, we have some particular websites are there where you can create the account and you can store that particular code. Example, there is a one website called Google Colab. Okay, Google Colab website is there. So online web pages, these online editors will take some particular time. So here you can see we have uh, one option is coming, new notebook. Click on this particular new notebook. So online pages take some particular time. Okay. Now here, start coding. We are getting one particular box, and here I'm going to write something. Print hello code. To execute this, you can click on this particular play button, or else you can use the Control plus Enter button. Okay. So here I'm going to click on this particular play button. So it is saying connecting. So just now we have opened. Okay, now it is connected, right mark, and now you can see bottom you're getting the hello code. You wanted to write one more code, you can create one more particular block here. I'm writing a equals to 10, b equals something 22, c equals to a plus b, and now here I'm going to write print c. Okay, and now here I'm going to click on this particular play button, and here you're getting the 32. And this is going to be, these files are going to be stored in your particular Google Drive. So if you have one Gmail account, then you can use this particular Google Colab. So this is one type of particular Google product. So all the files are going to be saved inside your particular Google Drive. You can create n number of particular files here. Okay, and all these particular files are going to be stored, and you can share this particular file with the other particular developers also. Like this, you can create multiple files. This is the one particular method. But everything, every time I need to use internet only. Just assume I don't wanted to use the internet, I wanted to store my particular files. So then there is a one good editor is there for the beginner friendly. The name of the editor is Jupyter Notebook. Same, it will work as a Google Colabs only. Okay, install. So if I wanted to use this particular Jupyter Notebook, simply I need to run this particular command, pip install notebook. So whenever I'm installing something related to the Python, there is a one command will be there, pip, and then I need to mention the install, and then I need to use what I'm installing here. For example, same thing, if I'm installing something NumPy, Pandas, Matplot, same I'm going to use pip install NumPy, pip install Pandas. Okay, so whatever the library uh, I wanted to use, I can use with that particular name here. Okay, so same like framework also, like web application development framework, Django is there. So you have to use pip install Django. Okay. So here I'm going to use the command prompt and make sure run as an administrator. Everything, whenever you're installing something, you have to use the admin mode. So okay, in same thing, Linux also we use the admin mode. So here also we use the run as an administrator. So again, it will ask the permission. You have to click on the yes. Okay. If you have any password, it will ask the password also to open the administrator mode. So here I have not given any password, so directly it will open. And here you have to write the command pip install node. So once you enter this particular command, it is going to load all the particular files, and it is saying requirement already satisfied. It means it is already installed in my particular machine. So now what I need to do, I need to check how I can use this particular notebook. So first of all, I need one particular folder where I can store all my particular files. So I have created already one Python folder here. In this particular Python folder, as of now, this folder is empty. We don't have any particular file. But now I wanted to save all the files inside of this particular Python folder. So what I'll do, I'll open this particular folder in the command prompt. So simply I'm going to take this cursor in my particular path area. And here I'm going to write command cmd. And here I'm going to type here Jupyter notebook. Okay. So once you run this, it is going to be open in your default browser. So in my particular system, Chrome is the default browser. That's why it is open in the Chrome here. Again, you can see there is a no files are there. You just need to click on the new Python. So once you click on the new Python, so it will create one particular Jupyter file. Okay. If you wanted to create any particular Python file, you can create .py file also. You can click Python file, so it will create one .py file also. We are going to create the .py files also. But as of now, for a better understanding purpose, okay, I'm going to use the Jupyter files to run my particular Python code. Another options, you can use Visual Studio Code also, you can use Atom also, you can use PyCharm also, any other particular regular particular editor. If you wanted to use, you can use Sublime also. So these particular editors also you can use. Okay, normally in the real time we use the VS Code only. In some particular companies, maybe they are going to use Atom, Sublime and PyCharm, but mostly 90 to 95%, okay, most of the companies are going to use the VS Code, nothing but the Visual Studio Code. There you have to create the file in the Python format. Like this, you have to create one particular file in the Python format. Means .py file is going to be created. You will get the plain editor where you are writing that particular code. Okay, like this, you are going to write, for example, file1.py file you are created, and then you are writing the particular. Okay, so as of now, we'll go with the Jupyter notebook. Okay, if you are using any particular VS Code, okay, you can write that particular code in that particular VS Code also. If you are getting any particular errors, you can share your particular screen. Okay, we can check that particular errors also. Okay, so as of now, I'll go with this particular Jupyter notebook. Here I'm writing one particular file name, and here I'm going to write Python basics. Okay, now let me check whether this particular file is running or not. So here I'm going to use the first print function. So what is the use of this particular print function? So this particular function is introduced same like in the C language how we have printf is there. Okay, like same thing in your particular Java, we have system.out.println function is there. Same we have the print function is there. So it is used to execute any particular data or identifier like variable, okay, etc. So how it is going to be used? It is going to be used, the syntax is you have to use the print function, and then inside of this, if any data is there or any particular identifier is there, that you have to mention. Okay. If I mention print function and if I'm not mentioning any identifier or data, then it will give you me the empty particular output here. So in this particular block, I have written the code and empty this is my output here. Now if I mention here something, okay, and here I'm writing hello coders. So now here I'm getting the hello coders here. Okay. Similarly, if I write print 10, now it will give me the 10 here. Okay. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to store this particular data. So for that purpose, I need to use the concept called variable. What is the purpose of variable? To store the data. Okay. So if you are already coming from the C language particular background, okay, why I'm mentioning this hashtag? So in C language, we use the 2 times particular slash symbol. So that is called nothing but comment. Okay. So what is the use of this particular comment? When we write any particular code, sometimes we need to pass some particular reference or you can say internal notes. Okay, like why we are writing this particular code, what is the purpose of line number 10, what is the purpose of line number 12, is there any connection between line number 10 to 20, what is the purpose of creating this particular formula, what is the purpose of writing this particular condition, what is the purpose to run this particular loop, what is the purpose of creating this particular function. So all these particular notes and references, okay, we are going to write using the comments here. Okay, so in the same thing in the Python also we have a comment concept. Okay, and here what is the use of the comments? To write notes, or you can say reference, or we can say simply purpose of writing that particular code. Okay, so here we have two types of particular comments are there. One is called single line comment. Okay, or else if I wanted to maintain some particular nodes, you can use this particular option code to markdown, and when you type this hashtag comment, so then it will create one particular heading like this. Okay, so same you're writing the code also, and same thing we can maintaining your particular nodes also. And here I'm going to copy paste something like this, and here I'm going to write, it is used to write nodes or reference or purpose of writing that particular code. Okay, and here I'm going to write types of comments. There are two types are there. So here I'm going to mention first type is single line comment, and the second type is multi-line comment. Okay, so here what is the use of the single line comments is meaning the same. Okay, if you are writing only one line. Okay, so what is the syntax here? Syntax is simple, just you are writing one hashtag and then okay your particular comment. Simple. Same for the multi-line also. What is the use of this? If you are writing more than one particular line. Okay, and how we are going to start? We can use this three quotes at the starting point, and then you're going to write your particular comments. And whenever you wanted to end, you can end with this particular three quotes, or else you can use the double quotes also. Okay, so here this is the way how you're going to use. So now you can see same thing here we are getting as a notes. Okay, here all we are writing the code also, and the same particular page I'm writing the notes also. Okay, for the future references. Now we are discussing about the next concept, that is the variable concept. So what is the use of this particular variables? So variable, it is used to store the data. Okay, and whenever you are creating any particular variable, it contains three particular stages, nothing but called aspect of the variable. So what are the three particular aspects are there? So here we have declaration, declaration. Next we have initialization. Next we have accessing the data, nothing but accessing the variable here. Declaration means what? Declaration means here you are assigning the name of the variable. Okay, using that particular variable, later if I wanted to reuse that particular data, so then I can use that particular name here. Initialization means here you are assigning the data inside of the declared name. Okay, next accessing means here we are using the declared name to access the data which we stored at the time of declaration. Okay, at the time of declaration. In other particular programming language, declaration and initializations can be created in the individual particular steps. Example purpose, just assume, okay, let me close previous tabs. Let's use one particular online C compiler. Okay, for the better understanding purpose, I'm using the C language because in graduation, if you're coming up with the degree or engineering, everyone having the first semester, you will be having the C language. Now, for just for understanding purpose, I'm writing here. Now I wanted to initialize one particular data here. So here I'm writing integer a. I'm writing a equals to 10, and here I'm going to write printf. Okay, percentage t comma a. So if I'm mentioning integer a, what is the meaning here? This is called declaration. This is called declaration. Let me remove the unwanted lines. So declaration means what is declaration here? I have declared one particular name, and in C language compulsory you have to mention int. It means in this a, what type of data is going to be stored. We need to mention mandatory at the time of declaration. You have to mention what is the data is going to be stored. And next you can see here, this is called initialization. Means which data is going to be added here, which particular integer value. And then here I'm going to accessing the data using the format specifier. What is the percentage d format specifier? Means I wanted to print the this particular integer value. For integer value, the format is percentage d. For float, there is a different value is there. Okay, like percentage f. Okay, for character string, for different format specifiers are there. So now if I run this, you will get this particular output as a as a 10 here. So this is the individual declaration, individual initialization, individual access. This is possible in the other particular programming language. But in Python programming language, most of the interview they'll ask you this particular question. Individual declaration is possible in the Python programming language. The answer is no. Why? Because in Python, when you declare any particular variable, we don't mention the data type. Because Python is a dynamically typed programming language. It is not a typed programming language. In typed programming language or static type programming language, it is mandatory you have to mention the data type at the time of declaration. Why? Because then only your compiler is going to be understand what type of data this variable is going to be hold, and then accordingly it is going to create the memory location. It will allot that particular memory. But in Python, it is not like that. Directly you have to create the variable and directly you have to mention that particular data. Directly it will allocate that particular memory and that particular data inside of that particular variable here. So here in Python programming language, declaration and initialization both will be considered as a one stage. But in other programming language, declaration you can give in the individual stage, initialization you can give in the individual stage. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. For understanding purpose, I am writing this image here, example. So below is the C language. Okay. So this is the C language code. Now we are writing the Python code. Okay. So how we are going to write, for example, same code I'm writing to print this particular a variable. So I'm writing a equals to 10, and then I'm going to write print a. So here in a equals to 10, okay, if you have multiple lines, you can on this particular spider symbol. So once you click on this spider symbol, it means, okay, you will get line number 1, 2, 3, how many lines you are going to write automatically, that many particular lines it is going to be created. Okay. So here a equals to 10 means here a is the declaration and 10 is the initialization. Okay, and print a nothing but you're accessing this particular data. So here declaration and initialization both we have tried at the same time. Why? Because we don't have any particular separate keyword particular command in the Python programming language. In other programming language, we have separate keywords are there for variable declaration. But in Python, we don't have any particular syntax or format for separate particular data type declaration in that particular Python programming language. Is it clear? Just you have to mention the variable name and you have to mention the data because it is a dynamically typed programming language. It is automatically understand whatever the data you are mentioning here. Now you can see here, if I mention here print a equals to day. It is printing the a data. Now I wanted to check what type of data it is holding. So for that purpose, here we have a type function. What is the use of this particular type function? To check what data you are storing or holding. So now if I mention here print type A, so now it is printing as a integer. Okay, so because Python is also object oriented programming, at the base level everything is stored as a object oriented format only. That's why it is printing class as an integer. Okay, so don't be confused like why it is printing class. So it is stored as a integer format only. Now if I store any particular data, something like b equals to some 12 point something 78, and if I print b, and also I wanted to check the type of this particular b here. Okay, so now it is printing b value 12.78. It is perfectly executable, and here you can see we are getting as a float as a type here. Similarly, I wanted to store one string values, and here I'm going to print c, print type of the c. So same value we are printing hello coders, and you can check the data which we are holding. It is in the str nothing but string format. Now here I'm going to use print d equals to true, and here I'm going to print a green and print type of this particular d. So you can see true is printing, and in which format data is stored? It is stored in the Boolean format. Is it clear, guys? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So that's it for today, guys. In the next class, we are going to understand some more particular coding concepts related to this particular Python. Okay. Any doubt, any questions till now?
No questions today.
Okay, you can get all these particular notes in the drive. Okay, you just need to contact with the management. Okay, you will get all the particular PDF files and notes, okay, in your particular Google Drive. You have to share your particular email IDs, so they'll add in the particular drive particular, and then you can access that particular drive. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, guys, so that's it for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.